Hello, everybody. Welcome to the first episode of Let's Rap. I'm your host, Philosophical.
And I'm your host, Jay Echo. What's good, y'all? Welcome to our podcast. I'm here thanks to our illustrious host, Philosophical. Phil, what exactly are we supposed to be doing here?
Man, this podcast is primarily for just men having a conversation. Figure, man, everybody else is doing it. So why can't we as men kind of talk, have a conversation? And that's why we're here.
uh, Power struggles within relationships, on how just to kind of elaborate on how the dynamic and the rules have just became so differently. That could be in the course of being in a different era. That can be in a matter of people's situations. We're kind of here to talk about that in general, kind of discuss as men, like the power struggle, the fact that such a
What the hell
struggle.
are we doing with ourselves, basically?
Yeah, basically, what's going on, man? What's the problem?
Hit that Marvin Gaye real quick. What's going on, bro?
So, what's your take on it, man? Kind of give a synopsis on what are your thoughts on it. I'll let you have the
Thoughts
floor.
on the different power dynamics and relationships.
Yeah,
Personally, I think it's a combination of things. I think it's about people's expectations. I think that's a big one. But but two, I also think in general, like just overall, doesn't matter if you're man, woman, black, white, red, green, purple, just people don't know how to treat each other. That's the big thing, you know. Like it doesn't matter what your expectations are or anything like that. A lot of people don't know how to treat other people, or they just plain they know how to, or they treat like I'm my general overall thought is that a lot of people just don't know or choose to ignore how to treat other people, whether it's with just in general, and solving that issue would probably solve a lot of the other issues in terms of power dynamics, gender politics, and all of that sort of stuff. It's just about how you treat another person.
yeah, but at the same time, I look at it like we as men and also women too. We got to put standards on how we want to be treated, because
That's fair.
if we put standards on how we want to be treated, 9 times out of 10, you know the difference of how you want to be treated and the way you're being treated. Nowadays, it's like we as men and in some situations, women, we allow certain things to happen within a relationship, within a household, and we gotta look at it in terms of, if you don't address it or you just have a proper type of communication as far as being able to talk to each other, to me that's just the way of just, if you can't talk to each other, what are we doing? What are we doing, man? If you can't talk to your woman and you feel like you gotta go outside of your relationship to talk to a woman to be able to communicate with somebody else, what are we doing? I mean, all we
Uh,
doing is encouraging the behavior to the point where it's like you got to look at it nowadays. Just as much as we as men and what we're doing, women are doing the same thing, but they're doing it smarter.
I mean, but that's because they've had literal years of watching us do bullshit to what's it called, to streamline the process. But I
Yeah,
mean,
but
it is what it is though. Like for a very long time, and you can agree or disagree, but for a very long time women weren't necessarily allowed to speak out, quote unquote, out of turn when something wasn't happening that they weren't necessarily okay with. Like bro, we just got out of the what's it called, we just got out of the lean in movement and all of that sort of stuff. It's still going on technically, where people, women all over the world have been saying, "Yo, this happened to me, and I told people, and they told me to basically suck it up and deal with it." We just got into that joint.
I mean, I tend to agree but disagree on that, to the fact that I think now it's prevalent it's happening to more men now, because we as men, we feel pressured to the fact that if we don't give in to what a woman says, it's almost like in the back of our minds, it's like, dang, man, like if I don't do what she says, there could be a potential that she can leave. She can go find it from somewhere else. And that's the issue, where it's like,
that's not an issue to me though.
Oh, that's a big issue, man.
That's
a big issue.
See, so here's where I'll disagree with you, because like, bruh, if you're not getting what you need, or you don't feel like you're being treated the way you want to be treated,
some of it is unreasonable though. A lot of it is unreasonable.
Yo, but that goes back to expectations though. Like, because look, I mean, I'll let you make your point in a second, but like the fact of the matter is, if you say that you're not okay with something, and then the other person, man, woman, child, whoever, doesn't respect what you've said, that's on them. That's not on you.
Yeah, but it starts from a point of us men choosing those type of women. Because first of all, you got to look at the dynamics of the type of woman you choose, right? Mm-hmm. So if you see that your woman is not very respectful to elders, mm-hmm. Maybe she doesn't respect people in her workplace, the way she talks, the way she speaks, she's cursing a lot, she's yelling a lot, potential of like maybe her mother and father are no longer married. We as men, we got to do a little bit more detective work. All right. Because 9 times out of 10, what happens in a man and a woman's child life could potentially happen to you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Because I'm not disagreeing with you on that point, but there's some
expectations. There's some expectations here that you're speaking about as far as women that it's way overblown. You got women out here saying that I'm not gonna work.
Yeah, but you have women out there. No, that's on them though. It's Phil.
That's not on them. That's on us.
No, I'm saying, like you said, we have to do more detective work, but it's their right to choose if they don't want to work. They will be broke, but that's on them.
That's not a choice. That's not a choice, because
that's the choice they are making.
No, if it was really a choice, we as men would say, all right, I need you to work.
You can say that.
We as men not saying that. We're like, because
Phil,
the way.
Phil, there's a difference.
Hold on, I'll let you make your point.
Okay.
Hold on.
Yeah.
So, but because of the way certain women, the certain way they're having sex in the bed, the certain way, like the way they look, we call them quote unquote trophy women. They look good. We can step out with them. We can go to the grocery store, show them off. If that type of woman comes to you and says, "I ain't working, you take care of the bills, I'll be a housewife." Who are we as men? The fact that we like to look at them every day. We can wake up, and the fact that we can look at this person every day to say, you know what, baby, I'm out. You ain't working, I'm out.
Yeah, but
that's the problem as men, man. We make these choices to where we
but that's the point. It's us. It's not the woman's. It's like, the woman can do whatever she wants. At the end of the day, if we choose to accept that, exactly, we encourage it. Like, so the problem isn't on the women. The problem is on the people who encourage that behavior. Like, I'm a grown man, right?
Yeah.
If like, I'm no longer in a relationship, but I was in a relationship until a little bit ago. It was on me to tell her how I felt about specific stuff. If I didn't say it, she wouldn't know.
Okay, so why didn't you?
Bruh, we had discussions and stuff like that, but if I didn't say something, she wouldn't know.
But that's the issue. That's the issue where I'm saying we as men, we don't talk. We don't talk to our women to the fact that this is what I want.
I'm not disagreeing with you on that point, but the issue isn't the woman at that point. The issue is the dude.
That's not always the case, because if let's say, for example, you're in a relationship, you're in a situation where, you want what you want, you're not getting it. And you know what I mean, she's getting what she wants, and you're a little bit frustrated and tired of it. You come out and say, well, you know, this is what I want. I need you to work. I need you to tone down this. I need you to give up your male friends. I need you to do this. I need you to do that. But it's been 2-3 years, and you have no plan to put a ring on it. You have no plan to put marriage on it. And then we sit back and wonder why, you know, women act the way they act.
Again,
this is why.
That's on. It's like you said earlier in the conversation. We need to do our research and set the expectations early. Like that's on us. Like if you do your research and you see that, oh, this woman expects that I'm going to take care of the house. Like if you're okay with that, or if she does that, you expect certain things in return, make that clear. Like you can't say, oh, like if we hop into a relationship, like if I'm starting off a relationship, like this is me personally. I don't know how other people do it. I'm talking about me specifically. If I'm starting off a relationship, like it doesn't start with we're having sex. That's not the beginning of our relationship.
You'd be surprised, and that's
no. I'm not disagreeing that that's not how a bunch of relationships starts. I'm talking about me personally. I'm talking about me personally. Okay, I'm not because that's not because one, sex complicates things. Like what you like. Sex will distract you from a whole.
You're gonna feed me that bullshit. You're gonna feed me that bullshit. You're gonna feed me that Shakespeare.
Nah, bullshit. You know good and well, bro. You know
sex complicates things, man. You're a man too, man. Don't feed me that bullshit.
I am a man. I am a man.
Bullshit. Don't feed me this bullshit where sex complicates things, and then walking around thinking this what I call one night stand nuts that women want from a man. It's cool. Doesn't complicate things. Come on, man.
I never said for men it complicates. I'm talking about in general. First of all, I'm not saying it's just a man thing, bro. Like, first off, I'm talking in generalizations right now. I'm not talking about men specifically. I'm talking about people. Okay. So sex will distract you from a lot of other stuff because you get that, what's it called? You get the thing that you think you want in that moment, which is you get the nut. Either that or she gets.
That's the point.
Let me finish. Bro, I understand that. I'm not the idiot. Okay, I know why we do it.
I'm just saying, don't feed me the Shakespeare BS. Like
this ain't Shakespeare, bro. This is life.
You telling me chapter 5 of the book you just wrote? Yeah,
this ain't chapter 5.
We as men, we don't want a nut, but we want one.
You need to tell me. You mean to tell me there haven't been times where like you got the buns and then you forgot, like, yes, you had questions, you had things that worried about, but you got the buns, so you were just like, all right, you know what? For now, I'm a leave it alone because I might get buns again. You ain't never done that. You've done that. Exactly.
Yes, and so is every other man.
I'm not disagreeing with that.
I don't want to hear this. I don't want to hear the bullshit talk about some.
Bruh.
Oh, sex is complicated. It's only complicated.
My point. Go ahead. Point. So you do that, and then because you're focused on, oh, let me see where this goes, but let me just get the buns to begin with. You don't set the standard of, yo, all right, sure, I'm getting buns, but what's it called? Like, what's her relationship with her parents like? So you
those are things down the road. Those are things, but you gotta realize that sex is a gauge for men too. Sex is a gauge. How is she good in the bed?
I'm not,
because we look at it like, all right, the sex is good.
Well, I'm not fighting you on that. I'm not disagreeing with you on that. Sex is a part of it, but
It's a major part.
You say, oh, we'll worry about that down the road. Now you're 6 months down the line. You ain't said nothing about how you feel about, oh, what's your relationship with your parent? Because you've just been gauging.
Correct. Because we don't, a lot of men don't care. A lot of men don't, we don't care. We as men don't care sometimes.
That process, that's the expectation you've set. It's like, he'll stay around as long as I give him the buns and nothing else. So you haven't set that expectation. You haven't done that. That's on you at that point. That's not on her, because you allowed that to happen. You allowed that to happen. No, she like, if, and this goes back to, what's it called? This goes back to like, people in general don't know how to treat each other, because like, if you give her an easy way out, she'll take it. In the same way that if a woman gave me
a woman gonna take it anyway. A woman's gonna take it anyway.
But if a woman gave you
not happy, she's gonna take it anyway.
Bruh, if a woman gave you an easy way out, would you take it? Yes.
No, that's not true. That's not true.
Don't you look me and turn your camera on, look me in your face and lie to my face, bro.
That's not true. That's not true. That's not true. And that's where it goes. That's where it goes. If a woman is good in bed and she looks good and I'm taking her out, she's hot, this, that, and the third, that all bets are off when it comes to that. I'm telling you right now, all bets are off when it comes to that.
But that's on you though.
That's not really solely on me. That's the choice we've made to stay with this woman. That's the
choice we've all collectively made. It's not her fault specifically. It's all of us as people. That's what
I'm here to tell you. What I'm here to tell you is the fact that women know what they're doing. They're knowing what they're doing as far as being a certain way, demanding a certain standard, and we as men are just taking it. We are just taking it, and that's the power struggle.
Bro, it's fine to have that power.
There is no different of a man and a woman going on the first date and you asking the question, because you got your interview questions. No matter 9 times out of 10, you got your man and a woman. If they see each other in the club, they hook up, one night stand, cool, that happens. But if you got a man and a woman who's meeting, who knows where, online, in the grocery store, wherever, they go out on a date, and the first thing the woman says is like, "Are you working?" Or what do you do for a living?
Mm-hmm.
And the woman's right, and she could respond and say, I'm not working right now, and I'm looking for potential marriage. I'm not looking to get to work. I've never worked in my life. My mother never worked. My father always worked for my mother. My mother was a housewife. But now, and now it's on the guy to make a choice, and we make choices for the wrong reasons.
Yeah, but
she's hot, she's this, she's that, and I'm staying. Oh, I'm gonna stay and see how it is and see how the sex is. And a deadly combination is if you got a hot woman and she's got good sex.
But Phil,
you got a hot no. Stop the bullshit, man. Stop the bullshit.
I'm not fighting
Stop the bullshit.
I'm not fighting.
Stop the bullshit.
I'm not fighting you on the fact that.
Come on, man. Stop the bullshit, man. Stop the bullshit.
Take a large number of dudes out. That combination.
Exactly. Correct. And this is why. This is why the good guys. This is why our podcast is here today, is to help the men make better choices.
But at the same time, that's fine. But what I'm telling you is, it's on the men to make better choices. That last
correct. Question, I agree. But women know what they're doing. Women know what they're doing.
That's fine.
Women throw on their makeup. They throw the booty back when they're in the bed. They know how to ride. They know how to give head. They know how to do all this. They know what they're doing.
I'm not saying that they don't have a plan going out, but we as dudes need to have a plan too.
Correct.
Like we
correct.
gotta take responsibility for the part
plan is over. Plan is over when you put a ring on a woman's finger. If you getting a certain thing within a relationship, if you putting a ring on a woman's finger and you in a relationship to where the woman's doing this, and this, all of a sudden you marry her and it's like she's like, oh, I'm not working because I don't need to work. You make all the money. What you gonna do? Divorce her?
You can.
No.
Bruh, Phil,
No.
what I'm trying to
because
tell
that ring that man puts on that woman is a commitment.
A contract.
Exactly. It's not. Well, exactly. I won't even call that's you. That's your word, not mine. I won't call it a contract because a contract says
you signed the paperwork, homie. That's
correct.
That's what you do.
Correct. You did. But it's also a commitment. It's also a commitment.
It is
to the fact that if you marry a woman, you've made your choice to marry her. To the fact that you are willing to take on who she is, what she does, and how she reacts in certain situations.
Yes.
My point is, if you're in a relationship with a woman and she's doing all this crazy stuff, she's doing this and that, that's not on the man. It's up to the man.
I'm not saying that part is on the man. That's why I said my point was about how we treat each other. Because if you're doing all the right things and she treats you like garbage regardless, that's on her.
Okay then. There you go. Okay.
But at the same time, it is your choice to leave at that point.
We as men ain't doing that because we've been trained. We have been trained to. You got some men that are out here to train to say, "All right, you know what? I'm gonna stay." And it'll change. It'll change. Just like women stay in certain situations, thinking it'll change.
And that's on the individual.
We have been, but the roles have gotten so strong to the fact that we as men, we are trained to stay, even harder, even longer, even more to sacrifice the way we feel because we've been trained not to talk. We've been trained not to set standards. We've been trained to just go out and find a job, work, come home, and deal with what you got to deal with. And on the back burner, you got women in this world, and I understand there are different situations. I understand, in certain households, things happen. But there are things out here. You got 21, 22, 23, in their 20s, women saying they don't want to work.
And that's on them.
And for what? For what? What's the reason? What's the reason?
I mean,
what's the reason?
The main reason is because I'm not going to sit here and try and man, I'm not sitting here trying to tell you that like women don't do that. I'm not saying that doesn't happen. Hell, men do it too. Like there are certain men out here in these streets who claim like, oh, I want a sugar mama and I'm a live my life based on that. There are people out here who do that. I'm not saying it doesn't happen. But what I'm saying is that is on the individual.
That's the choice of a man we've made. We've made that choice.
It's the choices of the individuals involved in that relationship.
It's not the social choice. Not a lot of guys are making that choice. The
social choice as men, our social choice, the social contract that we are currently under is that we go out, we get jobs, and we are the providers. That is the social contract we have had for a very long time. I understand that. I'm not fighting that. I'm not debating that. That's what it was for a very long time. The situation has changed, though. Do you agree or disagree that the situation has changed?
The roles have reversed. A lot.
I don't think the roles have reversed.
The roles have reversed. The roles have reversed to the point where women want to stay at home. Women want to stay at home. And they want to control. I
don't think the roles have reversed. I think
they have reversed. They have reversed. And we as men, we allow it. We allow it.
I think what's happened is for a long time, like, yes, men for a very long time, our role has been we are the providers. We run the world, basically. That's what it's been. Now, in this new push for equality, whether it's gender equality, sexual equality between people of different sexualities, different races, whatever the case may be, people are claiming their own individual power. How that manifests in individuals is different. Now, women right now, they've hit the point where they're trying to, they want their own. For a very long time, it wasn't about them getting their own. It was about them getting theirs through a man for a very long time.
And it's still like that. It's very much still like that, even more.
It's like that, but it doesn't have to be. And then there are certain women out there who will go out and get their own, and then when they enter a relationship, they have their own, they've built their own, they've got their own. So if you show up and you don't set the expectations, they're going to keep doing what the hell they've been doing. And so it's on you as an individual.
That's a different ball game. That's a way different ball game, because you got some situations where, yes, we're in a society where much more today where a woman is able to go out and get her own.
Yes.
So you've got some situations where a woman has her own. She's got her own car. She's got her own house. She's got her own money. Yes. I totally agree with that. But we could also, to bring kind of a devil's advocate here, to the point where if a man comes in, he has the same type of assets or standards that the woman has. Oh, you have some women out here that think they got everything. They got their own. Oh, they live in an apartment. Oh, they're a manager at Walmart. Oh, they drive. They got a car. Some women's standards are the fact that they have a car, have a little bit of money in their pocket, and have their own place. They think they have everything, to the fact that they don't feel like men should have to set a standard and tell them what to do. And that's where the standards stopped. As far as for men, we stopped telling women what we want, because women feel like they don't need to be told what we want as a man. That's the problem.
So it seems like we're having two different conversations, because if we're not having the conversation, then we can't be surprised if we don't get what we want. That's my whole point.
But
like, I'm not disagreeing that it happens.
That's where it comes to choices. If we're not liking what's being put in front of us, we start to weigh the pros and cons.
And it's on us to exactly. That's
what I call the power struggle. Somebody's got to bow down.
It's that exactly.
Not even bow down to a physical. Not saying physically.
It's
someone's got to be the bigger person, whether it's the man or the woman.
To me, it's not that. To me, this is why I say it's about how people treat each other, because at the end of the day, it's about compromise. Because, like, look, if you, I'm gonna use you as an example, okay? You have a job, you have a car, you have a house, and you are in a relationship with somebody who has a job, has a car, and has her own place, right?
Correct.
Y'all are both living your own lives, but as two grown-ass individuals, you decided, we are going to come together and form this relationship.
Correct.
And as two grown folks, you have conversations about what your expectations are within that relationship. As grown people, that's what you two do.
And
correct?
It depends. It really depends.
Okay.
It really depends. What if she's not great? What if a woman has gone through so much in her lifetime? She's been cheated on. She's done her thing. What I quote unquote call
she
the whole
brings
phase.
that to the relationship.
Correct.
But at the same time, it's on you to ask those questions. Now, I understand.
And we as men, we're not asking no questions.
I'm not exactly. So if Phil, if we don't ask the questions, then it's on us. It's on us. Like, their individual behavior is on them. But us ending up in this position where we're quote unquote losing power, or whatever you want to call it, it's on the fact that we refuse to ask the questions, and therefore we refuse to have these conversations. If we have the conversation, like if me and you, if I have a conversation with you and say, you're doing this shit, it pissed me off, don't do it again. If you keep doing that, that's on you. That's not on me. But if I don't say anything,
it's on us to the point where it's on us to the point where we expect a certain response. If you said that to me, you would get a certain response. And until what's the reason why you're responding to me that way?
Exactly. But it's different. But we'd have a conversation. That's the thing.
A lot of men and women are having conversations, and that's the power struggle.
Exactly.
Men and women take advantage just as much as men do.
Exactly.
That's the power struggle.
So
that's the power struggle.
That's why my point is, it's not women's fault, it's not men's fault, it's people's fault.
No,
as a group, as a collective.
And I'm telling you, in society, it has been told and predicated that it's the man's fault.
Society got Phil. I mean, I'm not stupid enough to believe that society doesn't play a role. Okay.
Oh, it plays a role. Social media plays a role.
I'm not debating you on that at all. I'm not disagreeing. I'm not fighting you on that. Nothing. But what I will say is, it is on us as individuals, as grown folks, the grown folks we claim to be, to have these conversations. And I think that's the whole point. Like, wherever you're coming from, whatever position you come from, whether you agree, disagree, you have to have the conversation. You have to have the conversation. If you don't have the conversation about the power dynamics in your relationship, about the expectations you have in your relationship, about yeah.
So what kind of your final thoughts on this power struggle? Because me, I look at it that, it's never going to change or not going to change until we as men, we start talking, we start putting standards, we start setting the expectation from the beginning, not during the relationship or even after we get married.
Yeah, I mean, my final thoughts is essentially I agree, but at the same time, I feel like that's not just a man thing, though. I feel like that's a people thing. Like, we all get into well, let me not say all, because there are some people who try to do things the right way. But a lot of us just jump into relationships without doing the work that requires, without doing the research, and part of that is, like, we've had so many years as men, we've had so many years where we haven't had to. Like, we've been the hunters, but it's sort of been like whatever we want at a certain level we can get. Like, we've never had to put in that extra legwork to set those standards, because for the large part we were the standard. Now that things have shifted, we have to engage in those conversations in order to decide what the new normal is for everybody involved. Like, I think too many people are just satisfied with, well, I'ma just go with the flow and see how things play out. And then they end up in a situation that they weren't expecting because they didn't set the standards to start with. They didn't go in with any expectation. Like, that's like, you hear all the time about things like situationships and all of that sort of thing, where it's just like, oh yeah, I'm seeing what's going to happen. And then, 3 years down the line, you got a baby mama and 2 kids and you have no idea how you got there. And it's because you didn't set any expectations, So, like, it's not fun, especially when, the prospect of buns is on the table. The last thing you want to do is, let's slow down and let's have conversations about, what do you think about work? How's your relationship with your moms? Like, that's not our goal most of the time, but that needs to change. That needs to change. Otherwise, we're going to keep ending up in these same weird, fucked up situations, and it's going to be nobody's fault but our own.
More power to you, man. More power to you. So that's our show. We really appreciate everybody listening to episode 1 of Let's Rap. You can follow us on the following media: Twitter, Let's Rap 2, Instagram, Let's Rap _, and YouTube, Let's Rap. We got a Patreon coming soon. We got some merchandise coming soon. Really appreciate all the love and support that you've given us so far. Peace.
Take it easy, y'all. We good?